Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the 105 leFH18B2, the French Tier 5 Premium SPG that we know and love as Fifi La Pew Pew. You might know it as a leFhy or a leaf blower, or if you happen to be jingles, you'd call it leFH18B2. But it's the Arty that's under the command of Mr. B, and he's on the south spawn of Overlord. Yes, as you've gathered, we won't mention his real name because we might get in trouble with YouTube. I don't know how he managed to get that one past the censors at Wargaming, but it is a legitimate name, and he is playing quite well under it. Okay, 105mm light field howitzer, the Leica Feldhaubitze. It's capable of doing 410 alpha and penetrating through 53mm of armor, and it's got a standard reload 8.92 seconds. We can see Mr. B has got 7.31, which is quite fast. He must be using a rammer and a good crew, because you can't get that unless you've got all of the extras. Okay, we've got a T-3485M on the other side of the bowl. I'm just lining up the shot, trying to work out where he's going to go next and put the shell down on him. Rounds out. Oh, that was a good one. That was a good leading shot. 143 hit points. And I think we just saw the tracer coming up from the enemy, Arty. So we know where he is. Or at least one of them is. He's near the cap area. Rounds out. Another direct hit. This time 70 hit points. Is he going to get another one? I think he's tracked the guy. Yes, he does. 75. And look at our Skoda T25. It's going down into the enemy rear. I think he's about to find one of the enemy Artys. Meanwhile, our T-3485 is getting pummeled. And I'm not sure there's much he can do except repair his tracks, and he's just done that. Okay, the enemy Gorilla has been spotted. They have two Artys, a Gorilla and a Fifi. The Fifi's near the cap area. And, oh, that was a direct hit on one of the enemy tanks down there. We know the Gorilla's nearby, and he just hit the Gorilla. The other tank he hit was the VK3001H. Rounds out again. Okay, he's now trying to attack the 720 M41. He's hiding in the bush. He's gone unspotted. Couldn't get that one on, but he's going to fire again. I don't think that 720 would have moved very far. Nope, didn't get that one either. Okay, next enemy target's an ARL-44, which is a French heavy tank. And it's fairly badly damaged, that one already. Gets another hit. 119 hit points now. And that target goes down to our KV-2. Okay, Vis-44. It's Tier 7 game, by the way, with Tier 5 tanks in it. And one of the enemy tanks has managed to get into our rear area. It's a VK3002M, the Panther prototype. There he is. He's just shy of our cap area. That's quite dangerous, because that means we now have to pay attention to him. Oh, that's a fire! He got a penetrating shot on the rear of the tank. And it's set right to him, and that shot's gone in. He's obviously very angry, and I think he's after us right now because he knows he's lost most of his hit points. And we're backing up to get the protection of these trees. Now, if he comes our way, we'll finish him off. I know Mr. B can do that. He's very quick on the draw. The moment that tank comes into sight, he'll fire one straight in. Trouble is, once we're spotted, the enemy Arty will be after us. Meanwhile, we've got a T-34 trying to... Well, it was actually a Type 58 getting close to our guys. Still can't see that VK. He must be coming this direction. We're 2 down on the enemy at the moment. Okay, he's backed up as far as he can go. And he's now looking north to see if there's any targets he can hit here whilst we're waiting for the VK. He's been spotted. It must be the VK. There he is. Oh, and he's re-aiming at him. Setting up target. Oh, yes, he shoots him in the face. Gets the kill. But he now has to move because otherwise the enemy Artys will start firing at him. And I expect those shells to start raining in any second now. Okay, he's changed course after he went unspotted. He took 2 hits from the VK, but only one of them actually penetrated. It only did 137 hit points of damage. It is a 75mm gun after all. The second shot was blocked by the armor, because after all, Fifi is a heavy tank. It's the Char B1. And the Chars are actually quite solid on the armor. He actually managed to block a shot, but that shot just tracked the Viz 44-1, firing another one in. Oh, that one hit the engine deck, and you can see the hole. He managed to get 162 off that one. He fires another shot in, just over the top of him. Waiting for the next shot to load. Oh, before we can fire it, in fact, actually, I think he did fire, but the shell ended up going into a wreck instead. The Viz 44-1 went down to our SU-100. Now, I should actually say there is a very good video on YouTube about the SU tank destroyers. SU means self-propelled gun, actually, in Russian. It was the actual name for it. And it actually describes the first 3 SUs that were actually produced. The SU-122, the SU-85, and the SU-100. And how they were generated. Very interesting, actually. Of course, as we like to say, the SU-122 actually is an Arty, because it was used more for indirect fire than it was for direct fire. The other 2 tanks were both direct fire tank destroyers. Oh, that one hit the tracks at the front of the M10, and it looks like our IS is about to finish him off, and he does. So we got the damage assist off that one. So it's 4 tanks left on either team. They've managed to claw back the difference, and they've got an even chance of winning up. Oh, we just lost the IS. Their enemy Fifi got him, and now we've just lost another tank, the SU-100, and that means it's just Mr. B left and a T-67, and he set light to the Hellcat. The Super Hellcat was set alight. We've lost sight of him. He was on the corner of the bowl. The bowl is that area right in the center of the map on Overlord, because it rises up at the sides and, well, kind of does look like a bowl in some ways, but there's the 720. Going after our T-67, he's a one-shot. Get the shot on him, fires the round in. Nope, unfortunately, well, we didn't get the kill on the 720. T-67 did. So, we've got 3 enemy tanks, includes that Super Hellcat, their Fifi, and their Gorilla. You can see that Mr. B's done 2,100 hit points of damage so far in this game. And there's the enemy Fifi, rounds out. And a one-shot kill. And potential high calibers. He's got 20% of the enemy hit pool. But unfortunately now we've lost our T-67. Here comes the Gorilla. We're dialing in as quickly as we can. Oh, that was a massive detonation from a demolition. You got an Amarak, and that means now there's only one left. It's the Super Hellcat, the guy we hit earlier in the game, and set him alight. He's not going to be a happy bunny. Now, we really need to spot him before he spots us, because if he does spot us, we're down to just 203 hit points, and he's got a 90mm gun capable of 240, which means he could wipe us out with one shot. Just needs to place the shot in the right spot, and if he knows that the gun shield is the weak spot, then he will take us out with one round. So ideally, we need to spot him. We know he's got 251 hit points. Now, if his sixth sense goes off, he knows he's been spotted, but he knows as well that he's been spotted for 3 seconds. And that's going to give the Super Hellcat time to dial in on him. That Super Hellcat's got 3 kills already in the game, so he's quite an efficient killer. There again, so has Mr. B. He's got 3 kills. He's using that building for cover. The Super Hellcat comes in behind him. He'll know that he's been spotted. The sixth sense will go off. But if he can't see the guy ahead of him, he could sneak up and get behind us and put one round in our rear. And we've been spotted. 3 seconds already. He's pulling back into cover as quickly as he can. And he's turned up and he's actually to the other side.
Bail out. This vehicle has had it.
Oh dear. Well, despite that game being a loss, that was a first ace tanker for Mr. B in the 105 leFH18B2. He managed to get a demolition expert because he blew an enemy tank to pieces. In fact, it was the gorilla. He hit the ammo rack and blew it up. And when he took out both enemy Artys, he got the counter battery fire medal for killing the enemy SPGs, at least 2 of them. He got a BUSA medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 19. He got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points of his own vehicle. And he also got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. And look at that win rate. It was incredibly high, 10,106 in the FIFI. Well, yes, that was a great score. And you have to scroll the screen to see everything. But sadly, it was a defeat because the Super Hellcat managed to sneak up on him in such a way as he could get the shot without Mr. B being able to do anything about it. If we look at the team scores, we can actually see that he did get close to getting the high caliber in terms of damage, because the high scorer was the VIS-44-1 with 3,638 hit points. He picked up a high caliber. Second highest damage went to Mr. B with 3,411, and the third highest damage was the Super Hellcat on his own team with 1,839. You can see the Super Hellcat that killed him actually only had 691 hit points of damage, despite the fact that he got 4 kills in the game. So he was actually picking off targets of opportunity that were fairly weak already. He wasn't a super player, but he was efficient enough to be alive at the end of the game. When it came to kills, we can see that the high scorer was that Super Hellcat with 4 kills. 3 kills went to the enemy Fifi, who got detonated by Mr. B. And also to Mr. B, the T67 and the SU-100. Between them, they managed to get 9 kills, which is 3/5 of the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, I'm afraid, yes, it's the enemy VIS-44-1 who got the highest with 1,152. The only player to get over 1,000 in that game. But in second place on base XP was Mr. B with 866. And yes, you can see that in the ace tanker. And the third highest damage, well, that went to the T-3485M on the enemy team with 693. He fired 27 rounds, so just over half of his ammunition. 16 direct hits on the enemy, 5 penetrations, 14 splash. Damage of 3,411 hit points of damage, of which 2,703 were at more than 300 meters. Let's have a quick look at those tanks that he penetrated. Well, it looks like he penetrated the VK because, of course, he set that guy alight and he burned up fairly quickly. In fact, used up most of his hit points when he got hit, and that made him very angry, and he came looking for Mr. B to try and take him out. The other tanks that he managed to penetrate were the VK3001H, the Gorilla, of course, with a direct hit. He didn't penetrate the M10, but he did detonate the enemy Arty for the enemy Fifi with one shot. He took him out completely, one-shot kill. 340 hit points of damage to that one. He also managed to put a shell into the Super Hellcat that killed him and earned 772 hit points of his health in the process, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to kill him and stop him from winning. And that's it. That's all the penetration shots. Now, he did actually get 114 hit points of damage assistance. He damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 3, so there was a 7 difference. That's where he got the Confederate. And he also earned 70,062 credits from the battle and 2,824 experience points. So a very good game, but as he says, a heartbreaking way to get a mastery. It is whenever you get a loss, but you actually pick up an ace tanker or say a first or second or third mark, getting it on a defeat is not the best way to do it. But sometimes that's exactly how it happens. You put up a great game, but just right at the end, you get taken out by one of the enemy tanks who just happens to be fortunate enough to survive long enough. And yes, if only that shell that set the Super Hellcat alight had done a bit more damage, then Mr. B would have won that game and he would have come away with a first ace tanker and a win. But it wasn't to be. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.